time someone calls up Townstone Financial, they ask, what can I afford? 150, 250? And that's never the right question. The question is, how much of a monthly payment can you afford? Because somebody that is eligible for one particular $200,000 property, they could find a $50,000 shack and not be eligible for it. Maybe it's on a golf course and it's got a $5,000 a month fee to be a member of the course. And you know what? That one 200 property you're eligible for, but the 50,000 you aren't, because the monthly payment on the $50,000 could theoretically be higher than the $200,000 property. Now, I don't know what golf course that is necessarily, but that's how you have to be looking at mortgage eligibility in terms of monthly payment.
I've done condos on Oak Street downtown.
What can the assessments be?
It's $2,200 a month.
So that $2,000 a month, some people could get that place and not even qualify for a $10,000 mortgage on that, because the assessment eats up the monthly liability that they can.
High taxes too.
High taxes. It's all about the monthly payment, not about the purchase price. All about the monthly payment,
Great point, Zach.
not about the purchase price. One of the interesting things, though, going into that previous segment about the home appraisals, though, that hits us lending hard, because when you're getting a loan, when you're doing 20% down to avoid that PMI, it's not going to be based on that purchase price. If the appraisal comes in low, that means extra money that person that's buying the house, that they have to put down. So it may not be just because, a low appraisal, they walk away because they think they're getting a bad deal. They might think the place is worth the full value, but because of that low appraisal, they now have to change their financial picture. They have to increase their down payment, and that just may not be feasible for them. So a poor appraisal can ruin a deal on so many fronts. So I think that's amazing that, because the best realtors in the business, they make the appraiser's job easier. They make, Randy is the best appraiser in the business, but it doesn't hurt when the realtor gives him the packet of information, gives him the best comps to use. And to me, that is going to make Randy's job easier. That's going to make the house sell better. And that's going to make me as a loan officer at Townstone Financial, it's going to make my job easier too. And as buyer, seller, everyone's going to be happier when everybody else, all the other professionals that are working on that deal, when everyone has their act together and they're professionals.
And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Zach Schwartz here, the mortgage expert from Townstone Financial, and he's giving us some valuable information about the misconception about eligibility for a mortgage and how it's actually determined.
Yep. One of the other cool things that have opened up, though, this past year is not about overbuilding your house past, the rest of the market, but let's say you have a house that, the neighbors all have bigger and nicer houses than you. We've recently opened up Rehab Loans, where we can basically get you a mortgage loan now based on the value that's appraised on the future value. You have 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, but all your neighbors are 3 or 4 bedrooms, more bathrooms. You can upgrade your house and get the money based on the future value, because before these rehab loans, before you had access to them, you could say, I want to build an addition to my house. But if you didn't have enough equity based on the current value of the home, you weren't getting that loan. You weren't going to be able to do that rehab project. And this is looking to be a huge segment moving forward right now. Of course, spring's coming up, home buying season, but also home rehabbing season. If you think you need to put in that extra work before you go and turn around and sell your house, you got to reach out to Townstone today, because these rehab loans are an excellent, excellent product.